Hey everybody, we're not having a Zoom tonight because of Memorial Day weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and please let us all remember all those people that in the past and presently are keeping us safe and giving us the freedom that we have in our country. So let's celebrate them and honor them this weekend. Since we're not having Zoom tonight and I messed it up last week, I feel like it's been a long time since we've been with you guys. So we decided we would just do a little question and answer time. I'm not sure how many weeks now we're going in the pandemic, almost 3 months, I guess. That's a long time. So we're just going to talk about some things maybe that we've experienced or are experiencing ourselves through this pandemic. So I'll start our question and answer time with Mr. Johnson. Mr. Clay, what has been your biggest challenge during the pandemic?
My biggest challenge has been my lack of patience with the way this thing's supposed to progress. I mean, we should hear about it, it should happen, it should go away, and that at the most should be 3 weeks. Well, obviously that's not what's happening. So it's tested my patience with myself, with people, with just about everything that you deal with. The schedule has been shot out the window.
All right.
What about you, Ms. J? What is your biggest challenge?
I think my biggest challenge is maybe kind of along the same lines as yours. I just kind of I want things to get back to normal, and I realize that we're never going to have the normal that we once had. And I think the challenge for me right now is I think about the new normal. I'm not sure if I like what I see or what I think might happen. So just trying to have faith and keep my eyes on the Lord and know that it's going to be okay, and that even the new normal might even be better than what the old normal was.
Okay, that's pretty good, Miss J. Question number 2. What have you learned? And that's wide open.
What have I learned?
What have you learned during this?
I think one thing I've learned, I think a lot of people have learned this, is that we have just really packed our lives up with a lot of stuff, a lot of scheduling, and I don't want to go back to that again. I don't want to get my life so busy, so jam-packed, running here, running there. And I think that God has, one of the things He wants us to learn through this is to slow down and to appreciate the little things in life, to appreciate the time with your family, to appreciate just quiet times. So that's one of the things I've learned. I don't want to get myself jammed up with a schedule and a to-do list in the future.
And I like the fact that you don't feel like you got to get paint off your chin and stuff like that. You can do this with paint.
Haven't showered yet. Sorry, guys.
Lord have mercy. Well, that's one thing I've learned, is Miss Johnson can go longer than you think without a shower. But the other thing I already knew, but I'm learning it better, and it's getting more and more real to me that I'm not responsible for how other people act and respond to what's going on. I've known that, but I know it even deeper. You know, everybody's got their own ways they feel about this thing, and you know, it's hard to look at some of the things you see and say, well, that's just stupid, or that, you know, if I don't agree with it, it's stupid. And people got to be who people are going to be, and I've learned that I need to not be self-centered, but I need to have my attitude right and all that, and not be concerned so much about what other people are saying and doing.
All right. What's been a blessing? What's a blessing you've had through this pandemic?
Well, that's tough. There have been the slowing down, not really having to be anywhere, losing track of what day it is. I think that's pretty good sometimes, to not have any idea of what day it is, and of course you get to spend a little more time with you. You know, that's a blessing. But it's been good, just concentrating on family. I mean, concentrating on the things you can influence. What about you?
I think one of the blessings is we've seen a lot of negative attitude, negative behaviors. We've seen a lot of love and a lot of compassion, a lot of people just really pouring out their lives for the sake of others, and it's just been a blessing to see people be so kind, compassionate, and giving during this time.
All right, time's getting late. We got a couple more questions right here. How about this? I'm going to let you answer 2 in a row. What do you think about the way we're handling? Are we handling this situation God's way? How He would want us to handle it?
Wow, I think that's probably something I think about a lot. pretty much every day. I hope we are. You know, I said we've seen a lot of kindness, a lot of love poured out on people. We've also seen a lot of meanness in our world. But as Christians, are we handling it the right way? I hope so. I pray so. And I think God wants us to, anything we go through in life, He wants us to learn from it. So I think if we can take some lessons, learn some lessons, and then apply them, then we're handling it the way God wants us to handle it. I had a friend at work the other day. We were talking about church and gathering back for worship, and she said, you know, I think that God wants us to work on our individual relationship with Him. This is a time that He wants us one-on-one with Him. And so I try to do that, probably not as well as I should have or could have, but I think, I hope so. How about you?
Well, I know that God would have us always to respond out of love and concern for our fellow human beings. If I had to rate myself, I wouldn't rate myself, but I think I've done okay. I have done some new things, some different things Bible-wise and all that. To be perfectly honest, I'm tired of looking in a computer screen or something like that to talk to people. I love people and I want to be with them. But in the meantime, I would like to think we're doing it God's way. And if He's got something different for me, I hope He'll show it and make it clear. We'll see.
All right, guys, our last question, we want you to answer for us. So I'm asking you to text back to me.
And me too, if you want to.
Well, yeah, Mr. Johnson, either one of us, but to me, I know you've got mine. Text back to me your answer to this question. We're looking at maybe being able to start doing some kind of gathering at church. This normally is the time that we're finishing up our regular Sunday night youth time. And our summer schedule is always different. We just kind of plan some events throughout the summer. We do our camps. I had a couple of mission opportunities I was trying to get us to do this summer, and everything has kind of been put on hold. So my question for you is kind of twofold. One, moving forward, what do you want our summer to look like? We're not even in the place that we're gathering again. So, but if we could do summer activities together, summer youth ministry, how do you want that to be? What do you want that to look like?
And think outside the box. Obviously, you have to think outside the box. But you know, it can be anything. Nothing's going to be foolish. Nothing to be
right.
Anything. I mean, we want things to do. We want to be with y'all. We want to be in fellowship with y'all. So, just if you think it, if it runs across your head, put it out there, and let's just look at it and talk about it and all that. We want to spend time with y'all. I want to go somewhere with y'all and do something with y'all.
Hang out with you.
And just I know y'all want to do that with me too. I know that.
All right. And kind of the end of that first question there about the summer, move it out into the fall, into next year. We asked one of the questions, you know, are we doing it God's way? And one of the things I've thought about throughout this, as we think about gathering together again, is do we need to go back and try to do it the way we always did it? We're different. Life is different. The world is going to be different now. So if we don't go back and do it like we've always done it, how do we go back and do it? How do we go back and do youth ministry? That we have the fellowship with one another, that we have the Word and study the Word with one another, that we grow in our relationship with Christ, that He is the center of what we're doing. How do we go back and do that, say, from the fall on? So that's our request of you guys. You got some time tomorrow. You're off of school, and
do it. You'll be graded on it.
That's right. All right. You haven't had that much schoolwork, so we won't give you a grade. So do that. We love you guys. One more quick thing. Mr. Tim Rogers was in the hospital earlier this week. He's had some blood clots. Thankfully, he is home. And actually, he's at the beach with his family, but he's resting at the beach. So keep him in your prayers, and you can text him and tell him to get well as well. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.